I wish someone was recording behind the scenes of this, because this is what we go through almost every podcast now.
Oh, thank you.
What Bill goes through mostly.
Okay, the recording started.
Fuck's sake!
Damn it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Let's Discuss Death Battle. I'm Billy McCarthy, and joined here is your only mate.
We had some technical difficulties, I guess. Blame Billy.
And we have Sean here.
Death battles we shall discuss.
Oh, that's a good segue on to the first subject. So we're going to be talking about the latest premiere. Well, the announcement premiere. Have they showed a teaser animation for that fight, out of curiosity?
Yeah.
Alright, so mate will probably discuss
It was part of the teaser, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but did they show more of it on their Death Battle podcast?
Yeah, it's out on YouTube today.
Alright, so I think mate will probably do well to explain how it looks so far, because he watches those. We're also going to discuss the theme that this season's going to go for. I'm sorry if you hear creaking in the background. I'm on my bed. I'm not near my desk today because I was recording off my laptop. And we're also going to be discussing a very interesting requested death battle, which I was not aware of.
Prepare to be disappointed is all I'm going to say.
Yay.
Disappointment. That's what we live for.
So pretty much Leon versus Frank West disappointment. Got it.
Hey, screw you. That episode was fun.
I did not enjoy it that much, but on to a different topic.
Actually,
That's not here or now.
I do actually kind of want to say that you might be annoyed about this, Sean. When I first saw that episode, I was rooting for Frank all the way, but after playing Resident Evil 4, I'm a Leon stan now.
I don't blame you.
Leon.
Oh, I mean, Leon's a fucking badass.
Leon is a Chad. Like.
Oh, he's a Leon. Why do you think he's called Leon and not Chad?
Do you know? Yeah, forget the whole Chad thing. No, there's something above a Chad. That's a Leon. This guy went from a rookie cop who could barely hold off one single rotten corpse to holding off an entire village of chainsaw zombies. Like, you know, that's pretty badass. But speaking of badasses, Yoda is coming to Death Battle, which was already kind of it was announced, but I was still kind of on the fence whether that would be Luke or Yoda. And then a few days after we recorded the podcast, Death Battle were like, no, it's definitely Yoda. Here's who he's fighting. And it is Mickey Mouse. And at first I thought this was going to be all the Mickey Mouses. You know, Sorcerer's Apprentice, the Musketeers, and etc. But no, this is specifically Kingdom Hearts Mickey. Now,
King Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
King Mickey, yeah. So
as they call him in the series.
Now, this might shock a few people watching this, but I've never played Kingdom Hearts.
Nor have I.
And here's the thing as well, though.
I have played a...
Sean?
I was going to say, I have played the game, so I at least have an understanding of King Mickey. So...
I've not actually
We're not complete idiots about that character.
I've not seen anything about Kingdom Hearts. All I know is Sephiroth's in it and Goofy's in it. That's pretty much my knowledge. In fact, I never...
I've watched Let's Plays
Think of it kind of like
the first and second games.
Right.
It's kind of like if Final Fantasy met Disney. It's by Square Enix, so...
I mean, it makes sense given the fact that, you know... I don't know why. If you were to tell me there was a video game where Sephiroth and Goofy were in the same game, I'd probably call you a freaking idiot. And say you're just reading a bad fan fiction.
It came out, I believe the first one came out on the original PlayStation, or it was PlayStation 2 when the first two came out.
I think it was PS2.
Oh,
right.
Wow, I didn't even hear about it until pretty much 3 years ago. I guess it would say 4 years. I guess
that was Kingdom Hearts 3 you probably heard about.
Yeah, I think that was my true introduction to it. And even though that episode, Sora versus Pit, I didn't even pay that much attention to the analysis for Sora. I just always assumed, I don't know, they just crossed over into Disney. I didn't realize Final Fantasy characters were in it.
Yeah, it's mostly Final Fantasy 7 characters in like the original games, but kind of divert away from that.
If it isn't obvious, I know jack shit about Kingdom Hearts. If that isn't obvious enough...
At least one of us has played the games.
I've watched Let's Plays, and I remember Sora's
That doesn't count.
battle.
But I saw the Mickey Mouse analysis, the King Mickey, I guess. And yeah, I can actually see why they went with this one over, say, Meta Knight and Oogway or Roshi, which, I admit, I was a bit disappointed when I first saw Mickey, but I think after a while, I started to find it hilarious that we're having essentially Star Wars versus Disney, but also two Disney properties fighting each other.
Yeah. Also, to add some extra thematic sense to this matchup, both these two were kind of like jokingly banned from Death Battle.
Yeah, well, I told mate, when you discuss this episode, I want to hear about this because why were they banned? Is the question. I'm not going to talk much about King Mickey, because obviously Kingdom Hearts, don't know anything about it. Maybe I'll let's play it in the future. Who knows?
Prepare for a long ride.
And a confusing one at that.
Yeah,
very.
That's actually the one thing I do know about it as well, is that the story is confusing as heck, and apparently to fully understand it, you have to play like 5 DS spin-offs, another spin-off, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do all that. So let's talk about Yoda. So Yoda as a premiere character, I think that's actually kind of cool, and I do like the fact this isn't a Marvel and DC premiere, because
for the first time in how many years?
Yeah, like
only like 2 seasons?
3 actually.
Yeah, 3. It's
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about Aquaman versus Namor.
Same here.
I almost forgot about Batman versus Black Panther.
Oh no, I love that episode.
That one I feel like was okay.
I'd probably be controversial saying this. I thought that was better than Batman vs Spider-Man.
Screw you! That was Batman's best episode.
That was my favorite season 1 episode, Batman versus Spider-Man, because it shows how good the humor of Death Battle was to someone who didn't know what it was.
I mean, this might be just because my Batman and Spider-Man bias, but I really did not like how they portrayed Spider-Man in it. I know they were just using voice clips from Marvel vs. Capcom, but it was kind of weird. He just jokingly killed Batman, went, sorry about that, web swing. It's like, you just killed a man. It's like...
Well, this was one of the first 10 episodes which Ben animated, so of course they had to use voice clips.
But you're totally fine with Batman hanging Captain America from a light post.
Good point.
He's from England. He doesn't care about American superheroes.
America, fuck you. I'm a British UK. But yeah, so anyway, back to the main topic. So Yoda and Death Battle as a premiere. Yeah, I can actually see Yoda being a good premiere character, and against Mickey Mouse, even better. And this is also going to be animated by the Triple D team. So
yeah, it's in Source Filmmaker.
So from the small footage we got of it, it looks pretty good, but it could be my bias towards Obi-Wan versus Kakashi. It kind of feels a bit... I don't know, the energy that I'm getting from it is that Yoda's seeming pretty slow at the moment. Like,
well, you only saw like the first 5 seconds of the fight.
Yeah, but even then, like, those 5 seconds didn't really show Yoda moving like I know it's really controversial, the whole Count Dooku versus Yoda fight, but in that you kind of got an idea how fast Yoda can be when he uses the Force. Like, he's almost like you can't even keep up with him in terms of fighting. But in this one, I don't know, it just seems like he's still in his old man phase.
Well, he moves a lot more like after like the bit you've seen.
Okay, well, yeah, mate will probably be able to discuss that more. Now, in terms
also, he's obviously going to do a lot more after the preview.
Oh yeah, obviously, I'm sure of that. I'm just giving like my first impressions of the teaser they gave us. Well, you know, the first teaser. I haven't seen the full teaser now. But now, in terms of who I'm rooting for, and as much as I grew up with Disney, and as much as I love Mickey Mouse, I'm a Star Wars player. As in, like, I don't play Star Wars. I mean, like, I'm a player, gangster. So, like, I always got to root for Star Wars in a way. The only time I'll never root for Star Wars, of course, if they're going against Naruto. that's the only fiction that I could see out there that I would always go against Star Wars for. So I'm rooting for Yoda.
Fair enough.
But from what people have told me, this Mickey Mouse is overpowered.
The general consensus I get is, going to die. Yoda is.
So that's sad. As long as the fight is good, though, I'm totally okay with what happens with Yoda. Well, maybe not totally okay. I'll probably be scarred for life, but nothing new. So let us speak with your early mate, and you probably have a lot more to say about this episode than I do, since you've actually seen Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, so first thing I gotta say about the animation, looking great so far, and my god, the voice actors. They sound so freaking good.
Yeah, from the teasers, they're really spot on with the characters. Who's voicing these characters? Are they Death Battle veterans?
I can pull up the tweet.
Yeah, you do that.
Give me a few moments.
But yeah, the guy playing Mickey especially, he sounds freaking perfect. Like, honestly, to the point, you know what? I really hope they bring him back whenever they do Bugs versus Mickey.
I mean, like...
Okay, I have the... Sorry about that. I was going to say I have the tweet right here, whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Yeah, list off the voice actors.
We have Keston the Voice on Twitter, who is going to be playing Mickey Mouse. And Phil in the booth will be the voice of Yoda.
Have these guys voiced characters in Death Battle before? Or they new?
To my knowledge, I do not believe so. I think Mate and other people may know more, but these two don't sound familiar to me.
One of them sounds familiar to me.
I mean, if they're newcomers, then I guess Proboscis got to update his list at some point.
Oh yeah, that got a lot of attention recently, thanks to Marissa Lenti.
Yeah, I know, right? Mm-hmm. To go on about what Mate said, they're obviously going to do Bugs Bunny versus Mickey, so I'm kind of glad they're going with a different version of Mickey Mouse than the official one.
Yeah, and yeah, they did address it on cast. That's a heavily requested fight, and they will do it one day. So add that to the list of confirmed episodes.
Oh, so what have we got now?
I guess outside of the tease ones that we got for this season.
So wait, we've gotten Ruby versus Marker, Galactus versus Unicron. Wasn't there another one that was kind of...
Dio versus Alucard.
Yeah, Dio versus Alucard. Alex versus Cole. Mickey versus Bugs, and Wiz versus Boomstick.
Damn, I'm really surprised we haven't gotten to a large majority, especially Galactus versus Unicron.
Okay, if that's not the season finale this year, I'm gonna be a little annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, this was in the works since season 1. 10 years in the works.
Over 10 years.
Yeah, now over 10 years.
Also, after Thanos versus Darkseid and Hulk versus Broly, like, come on.
Can these guys even destroy universes? Like, I know Unicron's powerful, but I don't think he's at like a universe buster level.
I mean, I'm not too familiar with like Transformers as a whole, but they did list a number for Optimus Prime destroying Unicron at one point.
There you go. There was a big effing number.
Yeah, specifically Yoda tons. And talking of, back to Yoda and Mickey.
Yeah,
or King Mickey, I should say.
I was going to ask, what exactly makes this Mickey different from the official one?
He's from Kingdom Hearts.
Smart ass.
But he's also like he's also basically the Yoda to Sora.
Right, okay.
In a way.
I mean, that's what I kind of got
and
from
a super experienced Keyblade wielder. I guess like how Yoda's a super experienced Jedi.
Like the general consensus.
Plus, you know, the whole band thing. It works.
Before we go into more about this matchup, why were Yoda and Mickey Mouse banned? Because I'm assuming this isn't specifically King Mickey.
Okay,
this is Mickey Mouse in general.
All right, so well, the whole like Mickey thing is just, you know, the mouse.
Right, the lawsuits.
and just how if they have Mickey lose, which I'll be honest, I'm rooting for because I was a Looney Tunes fan growing up, so Bugs all the way.
Preach.
So if Disney weren't too happy about it, just be like, oh, here's all your Star Wars episodes and all your Marvel episodes, like, gone. And that's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, I mean,
But
especially thanks to the whole Marvel and DC matches, that's like half of the previous season gone.
but okay, let's be real. Like, you really think Disney would do that?
No, obviously
Like,
not.
No.
If this was like 80 years ago, absolutely. Like they would have run Death Battle into the ground by now. Heck, they probably would have bought them out just so they could always do Disney matches where Disney would win.
Let's see. Oh yeah, so for Yoda, okay, this was also just a joke. Ben hates Yoda.
Wait, really?
Specifically, what the prequels do with him, like have him like jump around and fight with a lightsaber and stuff.
That's kind of interesting because Ben's always struck me as a big Star Wars fan. I didn't realize he.
No, he is, but he prefers like the idea of Yoda solely being a Force user, like the whole giving him a lightsaber thing and having him just jump around, do all these flips and all that stuff. Like he's one of those Star Wars fans.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that, but I feel like.
Plus, it was just meant to be a joke because he also said he hates Sasuke. And then he got an episode.
Didn't Sasuke die in said episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they always went into that assuming Sasuke was going to win. And then when they looked into everything, they were like, wait, really?
But no one believed me when I said Hiei was going to win, though.
But they had to double and even triple check everything.
Oh, wow.
Just to be like, okay, are we absolutely sure?
The thing that's actually kind of interesting about that idea is that it wasn't just the vocal minority of the Death Battle fans that we know that said that, but a majority of the Versus community were always on Sasuke's side.
Oh yeah, they spent years believing Sasuke wins.
Except for me!
Except for Sean. He was the true believer. I guess you could say he had the edge.
That was just awful. Like, legitimately, that was awful.
Mate had a pun, so, you know, I had to jump in at some point. So anyway, back to Yoda versus Mickey. So yeah, the whole band thing, like, why was... That's it. Like, he just didn't like him.
No, it was just a joke.
Right, okay, so... I mean, I kind of got that. Like, some people tend to take the Death Battle cast way too literally. Like, if they say something, people just assume they're taking it literally. It's like, it's just nerds having fun, just discussing things. Like, the only time I imagine them being serious, talking as a verse debate, is when they're answering questions about the previous episode.
Yeah, like, someone brings up, oh, why wasn't this feat counted, and they bring up the reasoning behind it, like in some extra context.
Yeah, so it's not like they just tell the fans, shut up, you're a nerd, you know, or just make some sort of joke. Like, it's even,
or they just say you're wrong because we say so.
Yeah, like a majority of people say, even though they don't like to admit that. I can kind of understand why maybe they didn't want to bring Mickey Mouse into it, but I feel like with Disney's new management and, you know, it being 2021 now, I don't think Disney do they even need to file lawsuits anymore? Like,
I mean, they own everything.
Yeah, I mean, I only just found
like,
out not long ago.
Almost everything.
Like, did you guys know they own Borat?
Oh, for God's sake!
Disney own Borat. Like, I didn't even know.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why, but I find that hilarious.
I know. So
and you know what else? You guys have Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Oh, Futurama is on it.
Yeah, I
That made me so happy.
Same. I do love Futurama, but it is crazy that they own Borat. Maybe we'll see Borat in Death Battle someday. Maybe he'll be in the next Kingdom Hearts.
Oh no, here's something funny about Disney owning everything.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the first Iron Man film and just how much of a playboy Tony was?
Yeah.
Like pole dancers, prostitutes, and there even being a deleted scene where he goes off to his holiday home just to have a foursome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That became a Disney property. So one of Disney's most successful live action characters is an alcoholic billionaire pimp.
I mean, that's how he was in the comics, to be fair. So
yeah.
I know, and just the fact that's a Disney property, it's just hilarious.
Yeah. Maybe that's how he's gonna beat Yoda. He's not gonna like kill him. He's just gonna, you see this contract? Yoda's like, yes. Look at the bottom. Can't be. It can't. Yes, I own you. And Yoda just disappears like, no. Just gets sucked into the Disney vault.
Now, I've made this joke with a friend of mine who's super into Star Wars. Basically, if King Mickey wins, this fight will be an animated representation of what Disney did to the Star Wars EU.
Oof. I'm already picturing the memes.
Why does that not surprise me?
I mean, if Yoda wins, do you think as many people would get angry about it?
I don't know, honestly.
Like, I know people are rooting for King Mickey, but if Yoda does win, which I'm not really that against it being possible.
Nor am I.
I mean, like, it being possible, like, I could be wrong. Maybe King Mickey is like Archie Sonic. But I could
And Archie Sonic lose.
Well, yeah. But I can actually kind of see not as many people being angry about it as they would like if Yoda got killed. I mean, that's my perspective. Anything else you want to add to that, mate?
Oh, so in terms of like how powerful they're gonna say they are, I have heard some things about that. Like, okay, we know they're most likely gonna count legends for Yoda, so
they've kind of done for every
the
single
stats
character.
Well, yeah. So the stats they gave Obi-Wan, that's the general ballpark that we're looking at for Yoda.
Right, and Obi-Wan's pretty powerful in Legends.
Yeah, and if you remember what they gave Sora in his death battle, if you compare those, yeah, Sora's effed. But I've heard from a lot of people that Sora was kind of heavily downplayed.
Really?
I think the thing was that Sora's death battle came out before Kingdom Hearts 3, and Kingdom Hearts 3 added a lot more stuff for Sora. That's the big thing.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can't really blame Death Battle for that.
Yeah. So yeah, King Mickey's stats are going to be vastly different.
I mean, I can already picture that, but I don't know. From the preview I saw, he doesn't look too powerful. I'm probably going to eat my words next time.
Keep in mind that's only the preview.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to add something else to this whole discussion about Mickey being powerful.
Well, I was just going to bring up my main question for could Yoda win this way is just the organ crush. But then I found out, oh wait, Mickey has a spell that can stop time.
Oh. Okay then.
So yeah, if he's faster and stronger than Yoda and time stop on top of that. Yeah.
I guess that's what it will come down to.
Here's that thing. Okay, my thing is that it may be just one circumstance and Mickey wins, and you shouldn't just look at one circumstance when it comes to shows like Death Battle.
Yeah, but the problem is
that's not how this works.
But the problem is I'm also seeing, okay, here's one circumstance where Yoda wins, and it's counted by this one thing Mickey has.
Well, not just looking at that, but you got to see who wins more times than not. And just because they have one thing that counters one thing, that doesn't mean that's exactly how it's going to play out.
I think
I'm just going off of based on what little I know.
I mean, as well as Mate did also say, if Mickey is stronger and faster, then the time stop's just that little cherry on top.
That's also just a general consensus I hear.
And I do kind of agree, a time stop ability is really overpowered in fiction.
You say that, it didn't help Shadow.
Or Weiss.
I was actually just about to say, it didn't help Jotaro, it
Okay,
didn't help Shadow.
Okay, that wasn't a time stop, Sean.
It's kind of like a time stop.
Not really, just wish she'd freaking use it more.
Wait, are we talking about the that weird clock thing she does where she can actually slow down people?
Time dilation.
Right. Yeah, I think the last I remember her using that was in Volume 2. Dang.
Yeah, that was it.
You would think she would use that sort of ability more often.
If only.
But, yeah, I don't think the time stop thing... just like Mate said, though, if Mickey is stronger and faster, then the time stop I don't think would be main essential. I think that's just that little bit that will help him win. But if Yoda is... I doubt he's physically stronger. I heavily doubt that. But if he's faster, which to a lot of the Jedi, he is the fastest Jedi when he uses the Force. Then...
Plus, they mentioned that Obi-Wan can react in a nanosecond.
Yeah, and Yoda's faster than that, apparently. Because when Obi-Wan fought Yoda, he couldn't keep track of him.
Although there is this feat that Sora has where he him and Riku block a crap ton of lasers coming at them from all directions with their Keyblades.
Damn, that is impressive.
And King Mickey should be comparable.
I mean, yeah, if King Mickey is way more experienced than Sora, then it would make total sense. Is that it, or is that it?
I think that's most of what I can really say on it.
All right then, Sean, since you've actually played the games, let's see what you have to say about Kingdom Hearts and this matchup.
Okay, so when this matchup got announced, I was a little confused, but I was for the idea because it's an interesting kind of idea for Yoda, I feel like, compared to some of the other ones. Then you take a look at what these characters can do. Yeah, I do feel like Mickey has more in his arsenal than Yoda, but I think Yoda is more experienced and is probably the smarter of the two because of that experience. So it's a lot closer than people are giving Yoda credit for.
Yeah, well, I mean, Yoda is over 900 years old.
Yeah,
compared to Mickey's only 92 years old.
Plus, apparently Yoda could have lived much longer if he was in good condition.
Right. So I feel like that while the consensus is that Mickey is going to win, it's a lot closer than people realize it is. And I do predict that Mickey will win, not just despite Bill, because, I'm not a fan of Star Wars. Yoda's pretty cool, but I do think Mickey has more in his arsenal that Yoda can actually take, is the problem.
Well, I mean, one thing I forgot to bring up that kind of just reminded me of, there's that Force technique where they absorb or block energy. So most of King Mickey's magic isn't going to be too helpful.
Hold on, I just also realized we mentioned in the previous recording session that Jedis can still use their Force Ghost. So, and Yoda can use his Force Ghost, and he still has control over the Force. So Yoda could still be in the fight.
But
yeah, that's the thing. This is a whole lot closer than people are giving Yoda credit for.
Here's the thing, though: Force Ghosts can still be killed afterwards.
True, but at least it gives Yoda potentially another fighting chance.
That would be a cool fake out.
Sean, anything else you want to add about? I'm more interested because you've actually played Kingdom Hearts.
Right, a lot of this stuff Mickey has is mostly magic. I don't know how magic will compete against the Force, honestly. that's like a whole nother discussion that I'm very intrigued by, because they also did something similar with chakra versus the Force as well. Back when the debate was, can Obi-Wan get out of Kakashi's Sharingan technique?
Yeah, I always figured Obi-Wan couldn't, because I always thought, I don't think the Force could protect against chakra, so the Force wouldn't know what that is. And the reason I thought that was because magic kind of exists in Star Wars, because obviously the witches on Dathomir, they kind of tap, they don't exactly tap into the Force. They have some sort of necromancy type of magic, and it's even been confirmed it works differently from the Force, like entirely. It's almost like spiritual.
Yeah, Mickey has magic, not necessarily the Force, but it's not like the necromancy magic. But I think that's a good starting base for like the whole debate of magic versus the Force. I feel like that's what it's going to come down to: is the Force going to be powerful enough to stop Mickey's magic? And in my honest opinion, I don't think it is, at least in this case. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Any of us could be wrong.
I mean, I'm totally down for Yoda winning.
I
don't think I am too, but I just feel like I don't know if Yoda can withstand all the power that Mickey has.
And you mentioned that as well. The thing that's actually kind of unique about how Yoda uses the Force, because he's so old, he can't use the Force as much as like younger Jedis. The reason he moves so fast is because he has to focus the Force onto his body so that he can move and fight. When Darth Sidious defeated him in episode 3, he couldn't really tap into the Force because he was too injured. So if he does suffer an injury, then he'll have a hard time focusing with the Force. Like, it's the same thing when...
Right. Plus, isn't his fighting... Bill would know this question I'm about to ask, but isn't his fighting style mostly just relying on speed anyway? Whereas Obi-Wan's was more defensive?
Yeah, like, Yoda's fighting style... I can't remember the name of it, but... Yeah, his stance is that he tries to outmaneuver his opponents. Like, he's done this in the show, the comics, and the movie. Like, you even see it in this fight with Count Dooku. Count Dooku's having a hard time pinning Yoda's location because he's moving so sporadically, and that's how Yoda always masters his sort of fights. He wants to control the battlefield in a way. So when opponents are struggling to see him, it's kind of like, yeah, Yoda's way too fast for anyone to... And the thing that's kind of more interesting...
Fast as fuck, boy.
Huh? Oh, okay. I didn't recognize the meme for a moment. Man,
it's a meme.
It's been a while since I've heard that meme. Wow, I feel old. But yeah, and here's the thing that's interesting. I actually forgot this as well until you only brought it up. Obi-Wan can react in a nanosecond. Well, here's the thing. Him, Mace Windu, and Ki-Adi-Mundi, I'll be surprised if anyone knows who that is, they all fought Yoda when he after the Clone... Well, not after the Clone Wars, but midway through it. And apparently they all agreed Yoda was way too fast. And even Mace Windu didn't even realise Yoda was right behind him until Yoda struck him. And Mace Windu is more powerful than, like, Obi-Wan. In terms of raw power and, of course, the Force. So if someone of that power can't even pinpoint Yoda, I think Mickey is going to be in for a tough time, like Sean said.
Right.
What about his physical strength, though? Because I'm honestly on the idea, yeah, Yoda's not physically strong enough to do a lot of the things that people are saying. What about Mickey, though? Like, has he performed any interesting, like, strength feats? Like, saw us slash through, like, what was it, 10 buildings? Has Mickey done
I don't know if it was 10, but, I mean, I want to say they would be in a similar ballpark.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose that's fair. I mean, from what I'm gathering, Mickey Mouse is more of the background character that you would only interact with very few times.
Yeah,
I mean, he is playable in some of the games, so you can take control of him.
And I've only seen Let's Plays of the first two.
Okay, that's fair enough. So I think we're kind of all on that same board that we are kind of thinking Mickey has this, but we're not counting out Yoda, because I feel like...
Right.
I feel like there are ways Yoda could win, but just like Sean said, I'm not going to base it on like that one scenario where Yoda completely wins the fight. Nah, I definitely feel like it needs to be a very specific like thing that is certain how they would win. And I think it is going to come down to magic and the Force, not just their blades. Anything else you want to add to it, Shawnee?
I think I'm good. I will keep track of our predictions to see who gets the most right this season.
All right, well, place your bets now. So I'm thinking Mickey has this, but I'm rooting for Yoda, mate.
I'll root for Yoda, but I'm just going with the general consensus, mob mentality or whatever, and I guess I'll predict King Mickey winning.
And
I normally don't like using mob mentality. I like trying to predict things based off the stuff I know, but I will also go with King Mickey.
Yeah. Also, admittedly, I just don't really want to look into Kingdom Hearts all that much.
I
I mean that's fair.
didn't like
just with how confusing it gets and other things I won't get into.
was it with Nick or someone else that absolutely hated researching? I know Nick did not like Blaze Blue.
No, that was
that was
specifically Ragnar versus Bad Guy. Yeah, just that episode.
Right, okay then. But wasn't there
I wonder if that's why we haven't seen a Blaze Blue character since.
Oh my goodness, has it really been that long since we've had any Blaze Blue characters?
Yeah.
I mean, Ragnar was in what, season 2?
That was, season 2.
In fact, I think even in DBX, the last one that was in there was... I probably can't...
Ragnar.
Yeah, and he fought Ruby and lost. Damn you commercials! So, yeah, we're all...
So we're all agreeing on King Mickey by the sounds of it, as
Yeah.
far as predicting who will win goes.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's King Mickey, as much as I want to say that.
What about you, Steven?
Oh, fuck Steven.
Oh.
No, do you know what? We're killing this joke.
Yeah, admittedly, when I was rewatching the podcast, I was just like, why did we do that?
By the way, Sean, I want you to...
It was your guys' idea, not mine.
By the way, Sean, I want you to animate in the edit and me shooting Steven.
Actually, I was a bad guy this whole time, and then you will be shot by my gun.
Actually, I was a bad guy. What? Thankfully, as I am now a vampire, I am immune to gunshots, so all that did was annoy me, really.
Fire in the hole!
Oh my god.
We're at punching Steven. Got it.
I mean, he's killed an elephant in one punch before, so...
Segueing on to the next topic.
You don't just say segue and then just make a topic, man. That's not how these work. So anyway, segueing on to the next subject.
I thought I saw a segue outside.
So, Death Battle is doing something very different this season. If you guys aren't aware, I'm talking to the viewers, not specifically you guys. They did quite a number of Marvel versus DC fights. Even if it wasn't Marvel versus DC, DC and Marvel had, I think, enough representation last season.
A fair amount, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think Mortal Kombat only had like one, and
They had 2 last season.
Oh yeah, what?
Yep.
Oh, what was the other Mortal Kombat? Was it no?
Sindel and...
Oro and Sindel.
That was it. Yeah. I was thinking like, wait, was Cinder vs Black Canary the season before or?
Yeah, that was last season. It was the 2nd episode.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I knew it was the 2nd episode, but I couldn't remember if it was last season or the season before that. But yeah, there wasn't really that much franchise representation. Like, I mean, we got introduced to a new series for Death Battle, Soul Eater. Crossover tried to get me into it, but the way he described it was kind of lame. But that's a topic for another time. As far as this season's going to be, Death Battle have essentially established that we want this season to be more thematic with like the battles, and as well as they want to bring in more representation for other series. But it also said, I might be quoting this wrong, they're going for more like memorable or highly debated fights.
Actually, are you talking about the whole like celebrating 10 years thing?
Yeah, they're celebrating 10 years.
Yeah. So what they said was they're going to be doing a whole lot of fights this season that are fights with history.
Yeah.
So fights that have history with death battles specifically. Hence why like Yoda and Mickey famously banned from death battle. So, you know, starting off by unbanned.
Yeah, it's just not the matches as well. By the looks of it, it might also just be characters that have a history with Death Battle.
Yeah.
This just makes me... And yeah, I'll get to it once Mate fully explains it.
Yeah. highly requested episodes, fights that have been suggested since day one. Yeah, that's about like what works for this.
Right. Now, okay, first of all, that already got me really hyped for this season because I don't mind it when Death Battle want to just do the same routine, but the thing that kind of threw me off a lot of like verse shows that I used to watch a long time ago, like 1 Minute Melee and Crossover X, is that they never really tried anything new with their format. They kind of kept it the same, and it just became really boring, redundant after a few years. Whereas you look at stuff like DBX, Death Battle, they're always trying to new things. Death Race, the voting system for DBX, which I actually think helped out a lot of those views. And I do like the fact they're also incorporating that sort of mindset for Death Battle. Because, I don't know, I feel like it was getting a bit redundant where they'd either just do whatever matchup they like rather than finding, what should this season be, you know? I just hope they don't try, at some point, they don't just decide, oh, let's just do this entire season dedicated to this one franchise, like 1 Minute Melee are doing with Dragon Ball fights.
How long ago did they say they were doing that? I haven't heard anything.
I don't know. I stopped following. I stopped following them. Their stuff got boring.
Like their last 1 Minute Melee was over a year ago at this point, I think.
Yeah, man, we need to actually. I feel like at some point we need to discuss about 1 Minute Melee because I think like that could be an interesting topic. But the themes for like this season of Death Battle, this is making me think, and I'm sorry if I pissed off viewers and maybe Sean and Mate. I'm thinking we're getting a Goku vs Superman rematch, like a proper rematch.
No.
Okay. Hang on.
Because they
did say a rematch is happening, but considering Cloud is amongst the T's characters, it's going to be Link v Cloud, not Goku vs Superman 3.
Well, I mean, they could be alluded because Ben has said before that he does want to properly do Goku vs Superman again, especially with all the new material those two have gotten. And I know a lot of people are like, the debate is over, we don't need it. It's like, but you know, Goku has gotten a bit powerful over the years. Like,
I'm not sure if I should say it.
No, you should say it. Do it. Or I'll cut
He
off
still
your
won't win.
Darth Maul, cut off his penis. I don't know, man. Like, okay, listen. I feel like if we're going to talk about characters that have history with Death Battle, when I saw Goku vs Superman, I hated it. Now, I will say I was not on that sort of Death Battle debunk video type of vibe. You know, I accepted the fact they thought Superman won, and I just grew somewhat salty over that. After watching Goku vs Superman 2 years later...
Admittedly, I did too.
I didn't.
Sean's getting on my bad
I didn't like
side.
Dragon Ball, okay?
He's getting on my bad side. Sean, you're going to be ending up like Steven over there.
Oh, you love me and you know it.
Should I leave you two alone?
Darth Maul, cut off his penis as well. Just Darth Maul lingering behind you guys, just waiting to cut off your penises. So with Goku vs Superman 2, when that came out, I grew somewhat more accepting over it. You know, I met the full stage of, you know, grief. You know, I was angry, I was apathetic, and then I had acceptance.
I'm pretty sure there were more stages than that, but whatever.
Oh,
There's 5 stages technically, but we're not professional medical experts.
I didn't pay for the extra DLC for those, so I didn't get them. Do you know what? Give it like 50 more years, that will actually be a thing.
Maybe.
Like a monk's like, if you want to reach the full embodiment of peace, you must pay $3.35 with expansion pass. But obviously,
Each sold separately.
So I grew somewhat accepting over the fact, yeah, you know what, Superman could beat Goku. But with Dragon Ball Super and everything Goku did in the tournament, and given the fact that he literally fought a character that was based on Superman, or somewhat inspired by Superman, I don't know, man. It seems like there needs to be a proper, like, I don't know. They need to properly solve this debate now. Like, we had it at the point when Goku was...
They probably will. It's just, admittedly, I'm kind of dreading it.
I mean, I'm dreading... it's weird for me, because I'm on mate's side as well on this. Like, I don't want that toxicity again, because...
That's why I don't want there to be a third one. That's the main reason.
Well, I love Goku versus Superman, because the fights... And here's the thing as well. I would absolutely love a Superman and Goku crossover, and the first thing I want to do is see them fight. Only just to see them complement how powerful each other. And that's what I loved about the first fight, because they were kind of, in a way, complementing one another. It's just a shame that it had to end in a death. It's like the whole All Might versus Might guy sort of situation.
Yeah, never mind the fact they blew up the Earth in the process.
Yeah, no, that got a bit, oof. Goodbye, everything. Well, is it kind of crazy at that point that's when people thought they cannot cause as much more destruction in the future?
Hulk and Broly saw that and thought, bitch, please. Dude, they destroyed a galaxy, broke reality so many times to the point they fixed everything.
Like, Darkseid versus Thanos, that's when people were like, right, Death Power can't get any more destructive than this. And then the Hulk versus Broly came.
Oh, dude, wait until Galactus versus Unicron happens. Like, they'll destroy an entire universe.
That'll be the one time that people want a Marvel character in Death Battle again.
Yeah. So, and the other thematic character that I can actually imagine making a comeback, I don't know why, I'm thinking we're going to have Luigi and Tails at some point. Maybe not against each other.
What?
But the reason I think that is because Tails, when he came to Death Battle, they kind of gave him the Archie comics feats again, just like they did when they did the original Mario vs. Sonic. So...
That's true.
Now, here's the thing that I say, though. If they do use Game Tails against Game Luigi, Tails still wins, because Tails is pretty... I actually still believe that. He's much smarter, and I think he's physically stronger than Luigi. And plus his gadgets and abilities, I think, are way better than Luigi's. Like, I mean, what was it? One of Luigi's main power-ups was that he could turn invisible. It's like, okay... Tails literally has a gadget.
And intangible.
Yeah, but Tails literally has, like... It only lasts a few seconds, plus Tails can literally look through a gadget to find out where he is. It's a shame he doesn't use that device more often.
But you think they should bring Tails back, kind of like what they did back with Mario vs. Sonic 2, pretty much?
Yeah, but...
I think he means against different opponents, if possible.
Yeah, but...
More so using, like, game Tails, not just composite Tails.
Yeah, and you know, another character I think we're also going to see, Macho Man versus the Kool-Aid Man.
If that isn't the joke fight this season, I'll be annoyed.
Just, it has to start with them both busting and going, oh yeah!
Like,
bust into a Slim Jim! Oh yeah!
Like, the joke fight is going to be either that or something else we'll get to later.
Drop that cone, motherfucker. Anyone who knows that reference, you deserve a... What was it called? Old Man Pass? What was that meme?
Dude, I don't know.
An internet point.
No, it was like this old meme, like, veteran discount, that was it.
You get a veteran discount.
If anyone remembers that meme I referenced, then you get a veteran discount. And, oh yeah, the final characters that I really hope come into this season, given the fact this is Death Battle history, Chuck Norris versus Segata.
I mean,
maybe it'll finally conclude.
They have talked about doing a Chuck v Segata too.
And they've even thought about trying to figure out who would actually win as well. Like, they've referenced them so many times. We even had one last season. Like, it's just...
Yeah, in Hulk v Broly. Oh, and Beerus v Galaxia.
I think we also had one in Sonic versus Flash too.
I mean, that might have been because the stars were in the background.
Like, they've been fighting for so many years. Can we finally have an end to it? I don't know.
I mean, I still kind of like the whole joke of they're still going.
We even kind of briefly saw them still fighting in Ichigo versus Naruto.
That was funny. Alongside Naruto about to eat some ramen and then it gets stolen by Luffy.
Yeah, I actually think that fight's also going to happen this season. I don't know. I feel like
I don't know about this season, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens eventually, just because it's a super heavy request.
okay, fair enough.
I mean, I feel like with Luffy is probably a heavily requested character.
Oh, they've kind of even subtly well, not even subtly, it was pretty much in our face. They are going to do Naruto versus Luffy.
I mean, considering that the other idea I had was Naruto versus Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho, and we saw Aohei versus Sasuke again, yeah, that might be more fair than Naruto.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually kept up with One Piece in a while, but Luffy has gotten a lot more powerful than when he first arrived.
I mean, based on what they said in Sanji versus Lee, he's a lot faster than Naruto.
Yeah. Oh, man. Why did I have to do Rock Lee like that? Rest in peace, brother.
I mean, as far as I'm aware,
that was hot.
Luffy. I mean, as far as I'm aware, Luffy still has that, like, is it a weakness or a susceptibility to, like, cussing weapons?
I don't know if he still has that anymore. I think he got a power up.
I don't think it's a weakness. The weakness was the whole he can't swim because of the devil fruit. That was the weakness. He fights Zoro all the time, so.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So
I'm pretty sure.
Well, there goes the whole. What's that? Rasengan called where he just makes it.
Rasen Shuriken.
Yeah, Rasen Shuriken, so it cuts you at a molecular level.
So yeah, that's pretty much that's what I'm kind of thinking of this season. If we are going with characters that are thematic or ones that I feel like have history of Death Battle, those are the characters I think we're going to see. So, your anime, what do you have to say about this thematic season?
Well, other than that, I'm looking forward to it, but I actually had a realization with a matchup that's pretty much teased, and you're probably gonna groan when I say it. Blake Mikasa. So
we went over this last time, so I think we're fine.
No, here's where I realize. Here's my realization about it, though. What was one of the things that originally inspired Death Battle?
It was Samus versus.
Besides Deadliest Warrior.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is that? I thought you were going to say something like Samus versus Master Chief. Haloid, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was made by Monty.
Yeah.
And because Monty was such a big inspiration for Death Battle, and even taught Torian how to animate, honestly, I thought it just sounds poetically perfect that they might be putting one of his characters in the season that's celebrating 10 years.
Oh, that would actually be quite sweet.
I mean, plus we do have Torian coming back this season.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god, I hope he does that fight.
Oh yeah, Torian's back now. Yeah, I guess Red vs. Blue Zero didn't work out.
It was okay. But yeah, on the flip side, like, they've also said that like they consider Death Battle like a celebration of the characters and the series and whatnot.
Yeah.
And Attack on Titan's wrapping up like in about a month, and I've seen hype for it at like highest it's been in ages. So with those both happening this year, it just seems kind of poetically perfect in a way.
I can actually kind of say it, but that just makes me think, do you think they might do Master Chief versus Samus instead?
You know what? I wouldn't be opposed to that being the season finale over Galactus v Unicron.
I mean, I wouldn't even been against it if it was like a mid-season finale.
Yeah, like I think that would be a pretty dope fight at the end of the day.
I mean, let's be real here. Master Chief is not winning that fight.
No, no, he is not.
Unless Halo Infinite pulls out something that says, "Hey, look at what Chief can do that can overpower Samus."
Do you know he's
Well, that's if it doesn't get delayed again.
True. But that's actually kind of interesting because something similar happened when Doom Eternal came out. I was actually thinking, I don't think that he's going to get that much of a buff over Master Chief. Well, now it turns out Doomslayer is more powerful than a literal being that could destroy existence. And I'm like, oh, never mind. Good luck to you, Chief.
Does that mean I
Chief.
kind of now want Samus versus Doomslayer now? I think that would be even better.
No, because even then, I think Samus would get destroyed in that one too. Like, I can't even actually think about a matchup where it's even for Doomslayer anymore. Okay, I will say as well, I understand that, you know, the games came out before the Death Battle, so if we were just counting the original Dooms, including Doom 3, even though people don't consider that canon, I still say Master Chief still wins that fight, absolutely.
Mm.
But I think after Doom Eternal, no. Not even a little bit. Can you think of any other matchups that you see being like, or at least characters that have a history of Death Battle in a way?
I can think of one, but I'll wait for my turn when I elaborate on that.
You know, I'm honestly like not too sure, other than what we've already talked about.
Okay,
Just because like practically everything gets requested for Death Battle to a point where I lose track.
I'm also kind of thinking when it comes to since you're a big Ruby fan, I figured you might be interested in this. Do you think this is going to be the season we get Ruby versus Marker?
No.
You don't think so?
Well, I mean, if
Probably
they're doing
not.
Blake Mikasa based on the T6, I don't really see them having two Ruby characters in the same season.
Well, because the thing is, when it comes to Death Battle, and you even mentioned Monty and how they might want to celebrate him, one of Monty's most requested fight, I think this is his only request, was Ruby versus Marker. But he even specifically said, wait until Volume 4 to include her.
I don't think he specified Volume 4.
Wasn't it Volume 4?
No, he just said wait because Ruby is going to get this crazy power.
I mean, if Ruby versus Marker does happen, I really do hope they kind of confirm that, I don't know, her new ability, the Silver Eyes, doesn't specifically only hurt Grimm. Like, I hope it...
Well, there's also still a lot that we don't really know. Plus, like, with how we found out her semblance really works, I imagine they're going to want to wait until like we get more clear info on that. Or perhaps like she develops it a bit more.
Here's what I always thought. I always thought that ability worked on creatures of darkness and magic. Like, that was always my first thoughts when I saw that. It's like, she can hurt beings of pure evil, and she can also hurt people that use magic. I mean, that's what I always thought. Hey, I used to be a theorist as well, what can I say? When I was a big Ruby hype man back in the day. I actually also kind of think, now that you mentioned, you know, Monty being a big inspiration, do you think we might see Ren at some point?
I don't know who would fight, though.
I think one of the most popular requests for Ren is, and I'm not joking, Greninja.
I have seen that, although I think if Greninja gets in, he's probably going to fight SBO from Sonic.
I think I prefer that over Ren. Because I don't know, I get it. They both have like a ninja sort of thing and everything.
Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of other Ruby fights that I'd like to see. Like Jean versus Sokka from Avatar.
Oh, that would actually be quite cool.
Yeah, think Hercule versus Dan, but with swords. Like, they are both competent fighters, but at the end of the day, they're still, like, you know, the goofball of the group. Although they do both come a long way, so, you know.
Yeah,
credit to them both.
I'm actually really thinking about... I'm really thinking about the whole Monty celebration things. I guarantee they are gonna do something to sort of like in his memory, because it wasn't too long ago they all had a bit of silence for his passing. Wasn't it in February when he passed?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone showed their respects to Monty and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it was why they did Boba Fett versus Samus Aran remastered. Like, way back when.
Yeah. Is that all you have to say for that?
More or less, and also I'm just throwing this out there. I don't see the idea of Blake Mikasa happening as just a Monty tribute. I also see it as a celebration of Attack on Titan. So,
okay.
Celebration on both sides. Yeah. So pass over to Sean.
Sean, it is your
So-
turn.
The legacy season is probably what I'm gonna be calling this season, because
Yeah, what
it's
that
gonna have it's gonna have a history of matchups that have a good history and characters that are gonna have a good history. So, I mean, that's probably also kind of why Doom's coming back, to kind of celebrate the fact that like we're getting an old character returning after nearly 5 or 6 seasons, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, I've said this last time, but he's been on Chad's mind specifically since like they made Death Battle. They really want to bring Kenshin in at some point. So I do hope that sometime this season we do get Kenshin in an episode.
I mean,
Who would he fight, though?
Zoro is a highly
I
requested
mean,
character.
Zoro is one. There could be a curveball in there somewhere. Maybe Genji from Overwatch would be an interesting one, because these two were former assassins.
You know, thematically that could work.
Yeah, I could see that being interesting.
And of course, maybe we'll be getting at least one more of these these confirmed episodes. Like, hopefully Dio versus Alucard is this Halloween episode.
I mean, they said in Saberwolf versus John Talbane that they'll do a vampire episode this year.
But that also makes me think they might do Blade versus Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because that one's also been requested for a long time.
I mean, if you actually know how powerful Buffy is now.
I mean, the only other thing I can think of is, you guys know Liam?
Yes.
The Death
Yes.
Battle researcher, writer, and now director in this season. It's come a long way.
Yeah, he's definitely earned some promotions in his time with Death Battle.
Yeah. So, you guys know what Blake Mikasa is for me, and what Ratchet and Clank versus Jack and Daxter was for Max.
Yeah.
It was their dream episode, pretty much.
Yeah, that's his, like, that's what Dio versus Alucard is for him.
Yeah, that I can actually see that.
Right.
I can actually see them doing Alucard versus Dio, and they did say it's going to be next season. Well, a vampire episode's next season, so I think it's pretty much confirmed this is Dio versus Alucard.
Yeah, and also, when Liam was on the Death Battle cast for the first time, and he got to pick a community Death Battle, of course he picked Dio versus Alucard and mentioned is the fight he wants the most. At RTX last year, the group were asked, like, hey, what are characters or matchups that you'd really, really like to do? Liam said the Chosen Undead versus the Dragonborn.
Wait, he wanted what?
Dark Souls versus
Yeah.
Skyrim. But the Chosen Undead is the protagonist of Dark Souls. Dragonborn, protagonist of Skyrim.
I mean, that's a stomp, man, because the undead in Dark Souls is not that strong.
But what was interesting about him saying that is just the fact he didn't say Dio Alucard.
Oh, really?
And we know a vampire fight is happening. So maybe?
I'm going to expect a riot if it's not Dio versus Alucard coming in October.
Yeah, like,
You know what? I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
fully expect one. But I also feel like that besides, just those matchups, maybe we'll get a character from one of those set matchups into a different matchup, kind of like what they did for Yoda, because the legacy matchup for Yoda was Meta Knight, and then they made him fight King Mickey. So maybe they might do that with another highly requested matchup into a more interesting one that we're not thinking of. I mean, like Cole could fight Killua from Hunter x Hunter instead. I don't know.
Save him for Kame.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about now. I was like, who's Kame?
Akame.
But like, I feel like it might not just be the matchups this season to look forward to. It might also just be the characters that we're going to see, because they may have a long history with Death Battle. Like, whatever the Steven Universe character is, if it's going to be Pearl versus Undyne instead of Steven versus Star, that's going to be great, since Undertale has been requested, a lot. And specifically that matchup was requested a lot.
I think they even said on Cast once that they've talked about doing Sans versus Ness.
Mm-hmm.
That would actually... I like that.
It's going to be interesting to see who else comes around, and Sans versus Ness is an interesting idea.
I think I might be alone when I say this. I would love to see Undertale in Death Battle, and I know they haven't had a history with Death Battle, but I do kind of feel like with how big like Undertale's gotten, especially through the verse community, I feel like they do want to do either a Frisk match or a Sans one.
I mean, maybe. It depends, because also Cartoon Fight Club, they did a lot of Sans matchups, and, well, we all know how that turned out.
All their matchups were Sans.
Over 80 episodes.
They even tried to meme it to be funny, and it was just like, no, you're just pointing out what we don't like.
It's all possible. Like, there could be certain characters or certain franchises that are going to be coming to Death Battle for the first time ever. Like, Hellsing, if it is Dio versus Alucard, that is going to be so cool to see a Hellsing character.
Alucard's like the only character I could picture in like Death Battle. Like, I've seen Hellsing, I've seen the original, I've seen the Ultimate Edition, I've seen the abridged version, which is epic as hell. But honestly, I can't really think of another character getting in with a fitting matchup. Like, Anderson's a pretty cool assassin, but I don't know. I can't really...
Anderson versus Corvo from Dishonored.
I don't know. It's kind of weird with Anderson, because even though he's shown to be a badass when fighting Alucard, we haven't really seen feats from him. We've seen him fight Alucard, and that's about it. Like, we haven't seen him... We don't know how strong he is. I mean, you could argue how fast he is if you scale him to Alucard.
Yeah, I was about to say, if he can keep up with Alucard, then... Okay, you can scale him a little bit, at least.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know the full context, so...
Yeah, so... I guess Ceres as well, you could argue, because... Like, because on... When it came to, like, Ceres, she was like the apprentice to Alucard, and she essentially gained his powers in a way. But... I can't think of a matchup either, because she hasn't yet again shown any feats that go above Alucard's or Anderson's. Anything else you want to add, Sean?
I think I am good for this topic. I think I've gotten everything I wanted to talk about.
And I got a couple things I just remembered.
Oh, yeah?
Well, depending on which matchups happen first, we're going to get the 25th anime series to be featured on Death Battle. So,
True.
Yeah, that's a thing. And I do think of I guess you could call it a legacy matchup, because it's been requested a lot, and also just like, show one of these characters some love. Sly Cooper versus Rouge the Bat.
Maybe.
Now,
I mean, I don't hate the matchup, but I could see them doing that, because obviously that is also... I think they've even discussed that being like one of the episodes they looked at in season 1. But they never went for it. I mean, I would love Sly Cooper to get more recognition, and I really do think if he gets a death battle, that might help a little.
Yeah, I just feel bad that Sly will probably lose to Rogue.
I don't know. I hear that
Rogue.
he has a lot of abilities that might give him an edge.
I just feel like Sly's more reliant on his team. That's my simple logic.
Yeah, I mean, he is a heist type of guy. You know, he relies on like planning, etc. It's kind of like the whole like because the thing that's different with Rouge and Sly is kind of like the whole Spider-Man versus Batman thing. Spider-Man doesn't really need prep time because even if he was to go in with his standard arsenal, he could figure out on the fly. Similar, that's what Rouge can do as well. Sly's not. He always has to plan his heist, even if like, and whenever nothing goes to plan or it gets interrupted, they have to improvise, and it's not usually that good. Take Sly Cooper 2 when they had to run away from that Fox police officer because they didn't have a plan in case they got found out. I mean, that's my thought on it.
Fair enough.
Anything else you want to add, mate, or Sean?
Nah, not really.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've reached the hour mark. Well, 10 minutes past the hour mark. So let's move on to the final subject of this podcast, which I am interested to learn the story of.
Oh boy.
So, one of the most popular, well, not just popular Hermione match, but it's one of Death Battle's most discussed fights. Juggernaut.
One of their most infamous.
Yeah. The Juggernaut, you know, the big, muscular, heavy mutant of the X-Men and the Marvel Universe, and Hermione from Harry Potter. Like
the most powerful Muggle in the Harry Potter universe.
like, mate, you need to tell me the story behind this.
I mean, she's Muggle born, but she's still a witch.
Like, what's the story of this? What started this?
You're gonna be disappointed when you hear this. Just saying. I'm saying this just because I know you and how you'll probably interpret this. So way back in the season 1 days, they threw out like what they were doing with Death Battle to everyone at Screw Attack at the time. And do you guys remember Jared?
Uh-huh.
Well, as a joke, he suggested Starscream versus Rainbow Dash.
Oh yeah.
Which
I know that story.
Yeah, they just thought, okay, that's just a joke, right? Then they looked into what Rainbow Dash can do, and they were just like, holy crap, we've got to do this. Then that episode was made.
I mean,
Well, it's essentially the same thing. It's just Nick, you know, one of the editors and writers for Death Battle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he just threw out Juggernaut Hermione as a joke.
Oh, okay.
And no, he even acknowledges he doesn't think it's ever going to happen because he just like thought of the two most random characters and threw them together, even though that he knows Hermione is not winning. Like, no.
Yeah, because the thing that immediately that clicked in my brain is that Hermione wouldn't be able to do jack shit because the Juggernaut's helmet literally says "fuck you" to magic. Like, it doesn't, like, Hermione could be like Wingardium Leviosa and the helmet would just still be there. It'd be like when Darth Vader tried to force choke Doctor Doom.
Yeah, that's essentially why it exists, because Nick suggested it randomly as a joke. And it's gone to the point where, you know that request forum?
Yeah.
People like request that matchup and they list their name as stuff like Nick Kramer, not Nick, Nick sent me.
Oh, we need to get involved in that. Sure, make a new Twitter or Google account. We're gonna get this matchup made.
There was at one point where I know you guys don't watch all the Death Battle casts, but I gotta explain this just to lead into it a little bit. So you know how Torian really doesn't know pop culture?
Oh, he is.
I love those segments.
Didn't
Yeah,
he,
like,
didn't he call Gimli Gandalf?
No, he was. It was like, who's the guy from Lord of the Rings with the axe? Gryffindor.
What? I thought he called him Gandalf.
No.
No.
He was gonna say Gandalf.
Oh.
uh,
Okay, listen.
I'm gonna butcher the name, but I'm pretty sure the answer was Gimli, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's Gimli. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. That hurts me. That hurts me on a spiritual level.
No, there was at one point he couldn't name all the Ninja Turtles as well.
Well, to be fair to him, they were doing like.
No.
To be fair to Torian, they were showing the old comic version back before they had their own colored headbands.
If I remember right, I think his answers were Leonardo.
I think
Michael
they got
and-
all about Raphael. I think was the problem.
I think the one he set in place was Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yes, my favorite Ninja Turtle, the one with the cool hair.
Oh, Torian, if you're watching this, listen, man, your animations are top notch. But my goodness, like you guys call me uncultured. You say I'm uncultured?
Oh, you know how I mentioned Futurama earlier?
Yeah.
Right.
They showed a picture of Professor Farnsworth, and his first guess was Professor Ozpin.
Oh my god.
Professor Ozpin.
From Ruby.
Yeah. Okay, I know no one from the company would watch this, but can we have another Torian quiz segment and just make it about Rooster Teeth stuff?
Yes.
You know what you say that? Nick once commented on these videos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not nervous, Nick.
No, yeah,
Exactly.
I know who you mean.
That is funny, man. Like,
The Nicholas who voices everyone in Death Battle, apparently.
yeah, yeah. When I was watching Bro Buskers' video, I was like, Jesus Christ, who hasn't he voiced? Didn't he voice all of Ben 10's aliens as well, even the ones they never used?
Yes.
He did throw in like a line for Accelerate, even though it was never used. It was just him singing "Rolling Around at the Speed of Sound."
Yeah.
I'm gutted that wasn't kept in. That would have been funny.
Wasn't that also a Diamond Head one? I swear there was also a Diamond Head voice line that didn't get used.
I'm not too sure.
By the way, Diamond Head was always my favorite of the original aliens before,
Same.
Like his voice, his design. I was one of the few people that wanted that toy, but everyone else wanted Forearms, Heat Blast, or what was the orange one called?
He was my Wild Mud.
Yeah, those were the three people loved the most.
Diamond Head was my second favorite. My first was Ripjaws. What?
I'm also trying to go back on the topic.
Yeah. So continue.
So there was talk about like the sourcing hat on one podcast, and when they were trying to set up a community death battle, Nick was trying to throw out Juggernaut Hermione, but Torian comes in and suggests, like, okay, no, Gryffindor versus the Cat in the Hat's hat. Thing is, he said Gryffindor, he meant the sorting hat.
Oh,
the sorting hat versus the hat from Cat in the Hat.
No, but it's the fact he called it Gryffindor.
Oh, he called Gimli Gryffindor, then he calls the hat Gryffindor.
Oh no, it gets better.
Oh,
so
God.
Ben stops this and just goes, okay. Here's what we'll do: Hermione Granger from Gryffindor versus, and then Torian interrupts. She's not from Gryffindor. She's from Harry Potter. Ben just gets up and walks away.
I would too. Like, I'm not even a huge Harry Potter fan. I'm a Lord of the Rings person, but even I know everything about Harry Potter. The classes, the teachers, the lore. Come on, Torian. Torian, if you do watch this, listen, we love you, man, but that is funny.
Torian, look, I love you. I'm just saying, like, that's one of my favorite segments ever.
Please,
never change.
I
also throwing this out there. Mikasa does have powers. You were wrong, sir.
just dread the day if Lord of the Rings does get a death battle now.
It's gonna be Gandalf more than likely.
Yeah, Gandalf versus Dumbledore, in which case Gandalf is probably going to win.
Even then, I'm just scared he's going to be like, oh, isn't that Gryffindor? It's like, oh, damn it.
Ah, yes. Gandalf versus Gryffindor.
The entire house, and he still wins.
That could be like those DBXs, you know, when they did like this character versus 100 of this guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was like Wolverine versus 100 Baracas.
No, and they also did 4 versus 100 Pikachus.
Oh, that was painful to watch.
Especially considering that 4 didn't get hit once.
Do you know, he didn't use as a Pikachu as a weapon. That was even sadder.
Oh my god. I mean, that was funny, but... I mean, just using the Pikachu as a hammer, that was funny, but, like, the rest of it was just like... Oh, God!
Oh, the humanity!
I think you mean all of the Pika-manity.
Oh, the Pokemonity!
There we go.
But
But I'm pretty sure this whole Hermione versus Juggernaut thing, at one point, I was trying to find the tweet earlier of it, but I'm pretty sure Ben responded to your tweet with that matchup.
Oh, yeah, that was a piss take.
I just thought it was hilarious.
No, I looked at that as, like, one of 2 things. Because I was posting, okay, so what could the season premiere be? And he threw out Juggernaut v Hermione. Okay, so a guy with a lot of defense versus a girl with a magic wand.
yeah.
There is a teased matchup that does fit that, and that's Steven Universe versus Star Butterfly.
You are
So-
going game theory on this. I have to say, you're going full Matt Pat on us right now.
No, I thought that would just be really clever.
Do you know,
But
do you know that Office meme where it's that guy standing behind those little pins on the wall where he's trying to piece together a mystery? That crazy guy.
Yes.
That's what your only mate is looking like right now. He's like,
it all connects.
Oh, no.
It all makes sense.
Oh no, that's just in my head. But the other thing I thought of was just like, I'm actually glad this wasn't the case. And I'd be teasing the premiere being Blake Mikasa, just because, well, he was replying to me, and I'm basically memed for that matchup. So,
I mean,
I'm glad it wasn't the case, because I want Attack on Titan to end first.
even if it did end, I don't think it would really help.
No, it wouldn't, but it would still be nice to have, like, you know, the story completed first.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. But you know what? Speaking of like Juggernaut versus Hermione, have you guys ever seen another bizarre matchup that people have suggested?
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this.
Yes, I think we talked about this one too in the SpongeBob video.
Have we? I'm not sure.
I was
I don't think you guys.
You're not thinking Squidward versus Bakugo?
I mean, I know that's what I thought. Like, you guys were going to bring up, but I was thinking, like, wait, did we discuss something earlier that I didn't remember? I was really confused. I'm like mate's like, I know where you're going with this, and he's like, and I'm just like, he does. What am I going to say? I was asking you guys.
Shall I just say it?
Sure.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, are you talking about Juggernaut versus Archie Knuckles?
No, is that a request?
Yeah, I've been seeing it getting popular recently.
No, I've actually not seen that.
Oh. Well, now I'm really curious as to what you were talking about.
No, I just mean like.
Where were you going, Bill?
No, I was just asking out of curiosity. Are there any weird matchups that you've seen requested?
Oh.
Squidward versus Bakugo.
That's an interesting. And that was weird. People say Squidward wins that, and I'm like, how?
Also, why? Is this a thing?
I think it's because they're like the moody out of the group, and they're considered the rivals to the hero. But no, there is one matchup that I have seen requested, It's not that popular though. Yeah, it would be absolutely hilarious to see it.
Go for it. What is it?
It is Popeye versus One Punch Man.
I would so be down for that.
I would too, honestly.
That
In
would,
fact, Lewis and Torian have said they would love to do that episode.
that is the most bizarre matchup I have ever seen for the. Well, actually, no, because the next one I want to talk about is even more bizarre, but we'll save that. Okay. For those that don't know, I love Popeye. If one of my older animations isn't a hint to that. Like, Popeye was always one of my favourite cartoons growing up. I watched them all on these old DVD collections that had, like, classic Looney Tunes and all sorts of animations. And one of them was Popeye.
Now I got the theme song stuck in my head.
I was also looking forward to the movie that was coming out of it, which was, funny enough, being written by the same guy who made Samurai Jack. I kid you not. From Samurai Jack.
Was that the live-action Warner Brothers one?
No. This was full-on 3D animation. They cancelled this, though, in favour of the Emoji
Oh,
Movie.
okay, that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
they cancelled the Popeye.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't know that, mate.
I think I repressed it because it's a fucking Emoji Movie. Like, come on.
In fact, do you know what's funny? If you the trailer is still on YouTube, it constantly gets taken down by Sony, but you could find it and listen. Those 5 minutes of Popeye were absolutely hilarious. Like, there's like one moment, like a thug's trying to hit Popeye, or no, he's trying to hit that little yellow animal creature. It disappears and he hits one of the bad guys and he just goes me, and just falls over unconscious. It appears over the guy's head again and he tries to hit it, but he ends up hitting himself. That few seconds was hilarious. And there was a moment him and Olive were like trying to get away from this one mugger, but they kept just pulling her through the window to the point Popeye slipped and threw her completely overboard the ship. And yeah, they cancelled that in favour of the Emoji Movie. Like,
I mean, just the fact they cancelled something in favor of the Emoji Movie is just...
I mean, the only time that's
What
going to be
were they
accepted if it was the Avatar: The Last Airbender live-action movie.
Okay, you know what? Fair.
and now as for One Punch
Or
Man,
Dragon Ball Evolution.
and also One Punch Man, because I have seen One Punch Man. I even went ahead and watched season 2 after Genos versus War Machine.
You specifically are talking about Saitama, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Saitama. He's known as the One Punch Man, or OPM.
Or Caped Baldy.
Caped Baldy. And I would absolutely love this because it's about the parody characters in a way. Because, you know, Popeye is like a parody on like Looney Tunes type characters and stuff like that. And obviously Saitama is a parody of those really overpowered anime characters. And it's just that he puts little effort into it and he just wins every fight. It's comedic and I could see it having potential.
I've actually heard some arguments to say, like, depending on how you do Saitama, you could, drastically misrepresent him. Because I've heard there's 2 ways to do it. There's either just go the route of he wins in one punch, or you go off of, okay, here's what he's shown in his series. This person has better feats, they win. You could get people arguing, oh, because Saitama didn't win in one punch, and that's kind of his whole thing, then they misrepresented him.
In saying that though, didn't like Saitama fight a bean in the show that he couldn't defeat in one punch?
I thought that was a mosquito.
Yeah.
No, there was like, what was it? Lord Boros, that was it. Yeah, he couldn't defeat him in one punch.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, I think at one point he punched him so much that you couldn't even see how many times he punched him, and he still came back. I mean, in the end, he was defeated, but Saitama...
Yeah, I mean, I've just heard that point thrown around, and I'm just like,
I mean, wouldn't that a point kind of apply to Kenshiro? Because Kenshiro, all Kenshiro needs to do is just touch you once, and you're dead.
Oh yeah.
Actually, do you know? Funny you say that, Sean. That would not actually work on Saitama. Do you know why? Because you can't affect his pressure points. There was another hero in the comic that tried on Saitama and even done a parody like, you are now immobilized. And Saitama went, no, I'm not. And the guy was shocked, like, what? Like he hit him in the press.
I was talking about like the general logic of that idea,
Yeah.
not just like those two fought. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, fair enough. My bad. But moving on from that, another bizarre matchup that I've kind of thought was interesting. Well, the reason I say this is interesting is the story behind this. Archie Sonic, believe it or not, versus Archie Mario.
Wait, that's a thing?
Well, here's the actually interesting story about it. There is actually promotional art for an Archie Mario comics. That was going to be a series. Like, hold on, let me try and get the image again on my phone. I'll send it on here.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was an actual thing, though.
But that just
be honest,
that just makes me wonder. Given how powerful Game Mario is, how powerful do you think Archie Mario would have been?
I think it depends on what the writers felt like doing with that character at the time.
But that's just kind of interesting.
Just be like, let's.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's just throw some cool ideas and see what sticks. Oh, all of them stick. Let's go give them everything because we think it's cool.
But that's just super weird. Like the fact that there was going to be an Archie Mario comic, that just makes me think, what? Oh, here, I'm going to show the image now.
I mean, they did Archie Mega Man.
Yeah, look at the art style, man.
Huh.
Oh wow.
Like it.
And no.
And funny enough,
I mean, yeah, that does look good.
in fact, there is a Mario comic series which is very different from the games, and I think it was kind of meant to be like a sort of like a rivalry to the Archie comics for Sonic. But funny enough, the Mario comics did not sell well enough. Because I guess there's only so much you can really do with a story like Mario, because...
You know what? Kind of the opposite of how Nintendo versus Sega turned out.
Yeah, like... Sega's just a lot better when it comes to comic books and other sort of medias than they are when it comes to games, whereas Nintendo is the opposite.
Oh, I was just thinking consoles.
Oh yeah, listen, Nintendo are always going to be top dogs for consoles. Like, there's no arguing.
I mean, just bring up the Switch.
Except for the Wii U.
Except for the Wii U. But
I mean, just bring up the Switch and, you know, they win right there.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, that's kind of interesting with these matchups, because... Sorry, my dog was barking, she heard the door.
Your dog is a fan of Archie Mario, it seems.
I was one of the few people that was looking forward to it. But yeah, right.
I guess if there's material for it, then it's possible.
Well, that's the thing, there isn't. Apparently there is some comic strips already made, but they've essentially either been archived or completely destroyed. Like, that just makes me think, like, if, let's say these comics did do well, do you think this outcome would have been as equal as, like, how it goes for Archie Sonic, or Sonic versus Game Mario?
Awesome.
I mean,
especially after Bowser's Fury, Mario's got an even more of a power boost.
yeah.
So, what was the name of that Super Bowser form? Like, oh no, we lost Sean.
Apparently so powerful it killed Sean.
Sean,
oh, now he's back.
Yeah.
I hate cats.
Okay.
I pushed a button. What do you think? Go ahead.
We were just saying, you know, Bowser's Fury kind of gave Bowser and both Mario kind of power boost, so it kind of makes me wonder, like, it just makes me wonder, why do people request Archie Mario versus Archie Sonic when there's not even any comic strips of Mario as of public?
I mean, I've heard Archie Sonic versus Paper Mario.
That's actually another bizarre matchup I've seen. Like, Paper Mario is not really that powerful. I mean, at least compared to Archie Sonic.
I mean, I don't really know anything about Paper Mario, so I can't really say.
I mean, I've played the first two games, and they're pretty fun games, by the way. But is there any bizarre matchups you've seen, mate? Aside Hermione vs. Juggernaut?
I mean, how much time you got? Because I could probably make a massive list of just ones I've seen where I'm just like, okay, but why though?
I'd say we got 20 minutes. Before I'd eventually have to sign off. We have been going for an hour and a half. I mean, it's just going to be in parts anyway, so not too much of an issue.
Yay!
Now, are we talking about just ones I think are just genuinely weird, or just ones I just do not like?
Both?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I guess I'll just say, like, when people say, "Oh, I want this one character to fight this group of characters," just to see that one character slaughter all of them.
Oh yeah, sort of similar to the whole Deadpool kills the Marvel sort of universe type of thing.
I guess, like, just those kinds of requests, like, just no.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Especially if you only request them just because you only want to see that group of characters die.
yeah,
At that point, do you even want to watch a good versus show?
yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I've always said this in the past. Spite fights are the worst parts of the versus community. Like, if you're primarily putting in a character just so they purposely lose in favor of another character or spite for that character, then it really does take the fun out of it, because it's a very mean-spirited episode in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Like, I'm trying to think, what kind of matchups have actually had that type of request? Like Goku versus like all of Marvel or something?
I mean,
Wasn't
I've
Hulk
seen
versus
like
Yang one.
no, I've seen people request like, "Oh, here's this single character versus all of Team Ruby."
I mean, yeah, like there was an interesting subject I definitely want to talk about next episode. I won't mention what it is here, but when we do get to that subject, let's just say when we discuss that whole Ruby thing, it will come into it.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Is there actually a funny matchup that you saw that it's really bad, but it's really funny? Like, I'm not sure if you remember. Do you remember seeing in the comments Mr. Fantastic versus Luffy?
That's an actual serious matchup nowadays for some reason.
I know, right? Like, I remember.
I mean, I think I would prefer that over Mr. Fantastic fighting Plastic Man.
Oh, come on! Why the hate for Plastic Man? I'd love to see that.
Well, it's mostly because I want Luffy to get representation. That's all.
He's gonna get representation against Naruto.
Maybe. But I can't really think off the top of my head some
I've actually seen
requests that are bad but funny.
I have seen some people say Luffy versus Popeye.
Oh my god!
Okay, now I just found one.
This episode's just been about Popeye.
Popeye. You mean this part? This segment's been about Popeye.
I mean, yeah.
Well, you know what? Purely because of that, watch them do Luffy versus Saitama.
Oh, for God's sake. I'll love it. Like, Saitama
Yeesh.
I don't know why, I'm getting memories of when Luffy fought Goku, and Goku punched his head. It did nothing. Luffy just swung his head forward and headbutted Goku. That just happens with Saitama. Like, he punches Luffy's head, and he's like, oh? Like, the head just stretches for miles, hitting buildings and stuff.
I mean, I don't know if that fight really makes any sense.
No.
Like,
It's a good weird request if it's funny. It's a terrible request if it's a spite fight.
yeah, I'm not really that fussed about either character. I just thought, I mean, they both get requested for Popeye, but how would that
in
work
general, I
against each
feel
other?
like is that statement.
Oh.
Like when it comes to these like weird matchups. If it's funny,
No, that one was
that's a
just
good
one
idea. Then it's a good one.
That one was just one I thought of on the spot.
Oh.
It's a funny matchup. I will say that much.
I love
Also, you could argue that's like a strength versus defense kind of fight.
I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, Luffy is known for defense mostly. Well, and also his crazy powers. So I think that will pretty much wrap up this episode.
I have nothing more to add.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nor do I.
Sean, did you just say you had one more thing to add?
I said I have nothing more to add.
Okay, you cut out for me there, sorry. So, yeah, that will do it for this recording session of Lads Discuss Death Battle. So, we're all in the agreement. Mickey is probably going to destroy Yoda.
It's
going
to be close, but yes.
I mean, I would still like to see Yoda win. Just
Yeah.
as a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, same here. And we're all excited for this new type of idea that they're doing for Death Battle, especially with its anniversary and the many years that Death Battle's had. So,
oh yeah, I've seen this be posted in a Robust's Discord server. They've put 10 years on the Death Battle doors.
oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A small detail.
Yeah, I think that's a cool detail for this season.
Oh, that's adorable. And we've also discussed the weird matchups like Juggernaut versus Hermione. Maybe more will appear after a few, like after this season. Who knows? So I think we'll end this. Your only mate. Name this episode.
Why do I have to name the episodes?
Because you're better than me at it.
Weird this is.
Weird this is.
Here's the thing, like, I'm the editor, you're the title creator, Bill's the recorder. That's how this works.
Oh, well, okay.
That's how we're going with this, apparently. So, if you all enjoyed this video, thank you very much for watching, and if by now the video should be uploaded to YouTube now, and if you haven't seen it yet, me and your only mate played Worms again, and it was probably our funniest session ever. Go watch that. And if you enjoyed what you saw here, share the video around and get the channel growing. Your only mate, do your outro.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. If you didn't enjoy, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, feel free to go over to my channel where I do Death Battle reactions, Ruby reactions, Ruby discussions with Max a few trades. Max and Mate, check those out.
Do it.
Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Shawnee.
Thank you, folks, for watching this episode. All of Bill's stuff will be on his end card. And, of course, you're free to check my channel out as well. And with that being said, I will see you all later.